That's my story of being a failure and of getting my dream job at the same time. I think the role of a data scientist is also evolving in that way. Quitting school doesn't sound good anywhere. Another thing that if you're doing a study, I 100% recommend looking into. Hello everyone, this is Yulia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my master degree in data science. As you can probably already see from the title, it didn't go very well in the end. So in this video I'm going to explain, first of all, a bit of context about how I started that master, how I applied for it, and why in the end I actually quit it and I still haven't finished a master in data science, nor do I plan to at any point in the future. So to start from the beginning, as you may have already seen from my other videos, I actually have a bachelor in data science that I got here in the Netherlands at the Maastricht University, all the way in the south of the country. But I thought after I finished my bachelor, now that I had a better idea about what it was, and I realized that it's a field that I definitely want to be in, naturally then I looked into getting a master in it as well. As I was already living in the Netherlands and I really liked the country and the culture, I thought about staying in the Netherlands also for my master. I went for the University of Amsterdam. Now this is obviously in Amsterdam, and I really wanted to live in that city as well. It was a little bigger than Maastricht and it had more opportunities for jobs also when I would finish. Yeah, I thought that would be a great match, and I applied for the university and I got in. Now another thing to mention is also that I was employed at that time as well. During my bachelor, I did an internship with a company where I was working as a data scientist, and then when I graduated, they wanted to keep me there. So because of this, I chose to do my master part-time, which is a really good option if you're thinking about your finances or how you're going to sustain yourself during the degree. It's good to know that some masters here do have that option. So I had one course at a time instead of the normal 3 courses, and I did a smaller load of all the projects we had as a group so that I could still work a few times a day. I think I worked 2 or 3 days a week. After about half a year of studying for my degree and working for this company, so about close to finishing my first semester, I got approached on LinkedIn and I was asked if I wanted to apply for an internship at Microsoft. Now, if I would take an internship, as we all know, those aren't paid as well as jobs, just in general. However, when an opportunity like that comes knocking, I couldn't really bring myself to say no. So I went through with the interview. I went through that whole process, which was, quite a lot in itself, and I'll probably make a separate video just to address how I prepared for that and how the process went. But in the end, I got it. So yeah, that's how my job ended and my internship began. But what about my master, right? So this was kind of the context of what was happening in my life at the same time that I was trying to hold on to the master. To begin with, the courses weren't the way that I expected them to be. So this master actually turned out to be a pretty entry level into data science, which I was a bit confused of because of course it's a master. So in my head, that's something that's more advanced on the same topic that you already did a bachelor in. At least that's the perspective that I joined that master with. However, that turned out not to be the case. This master was kind of an introduction to the concepts of data science and some of the core courses that you need to even understand what they're talking about. So again, calculus and machine learning and different types of mathematics that you need to learn before you start understanding those algorithms. Now the problem was that I had already taken all those courses before. I have a video describing everything that I did in my data science bachelor, and if you watch that, you'll see that I already studied calculus, I already had basic machine learning and data analysis and all these things to give you a very strong background and foundation, if not even a bit more than that, into the world of data science. So I thought I was, I already had that down and I just wanted to become more of an expert, a master in it, if you will. And to add to that, because I started the internship, and as I mentioned before, that wouldn't give me, enough to be financially independent, I actually took on a second job at the university as a student assistant. Now, this is another thing that if you're doing a study, I 100% recommend looking into. The position of being a student assistant is such a big help during your university years. If you can get into that, you really have to ask your professors or see which courses you have that have labs, like computer labs or exercise sessions, when you'll have one of the students kind of leading these sessions and helping you along. That's something that you can also do. So I went and I talked to the study advisor, and they were looking for study assistants for algebra and for calculus, but it wasn't calculus season yet, unfortunately, because that's my favorite subject. So I just signed up for the linear algebra course. But with that university job and my internship, I was kind of close to what I was making part-time before. So it was really good that I did that. But it was just a lot of effort and a lot of stress. And I found that out of all the things that I was doing, going to my own classes was the most boring part of my day or of my week or of my life. Bit dramatic. So I stopped and I had to think really hard about my priorities and how I spend my time and how much I can handle while still, delivering something good at all these things that I'm doing. Because you don't want to fail at 5 things rather than being really good at doing something. So I kept going with that for a few months until it was time to potentially get a job through Microsoft. So I'm gonna cut that story short, and again, maybe do it in another video, but the point is, I got offered a full-time position, which I was so happy about because I was so done with doing all these things at the same time. So Microsoft wanted me to work full-time, and they didn't care if I had a master's degree or not. And that's when I felt so liberated by the idea that, okay, I don't have to continue to study. It wasn't bringing me any joy to do it. I didn't feel like I was learning so much from it, and my dream job didn't actually require it. So I thought, why continue with it just so I can put it on LinkedIn that I've completed it, or get a diploma that didn't really mean anything to me, and it just didn't make sense. So I quit, which is a very weird thing to say. And I grew up thinking that that's a very negative thing and that education is very important, which it is. However, I learn on my job a lot more on a daily basis than I did by going to those courses. Especially in a dynamic field like data science, or in the cloud sector where I'm working in now, there's a lot that you learn from experience. Not to say that you don't need a technical or an academic foundation, that's very important. And I had that from my bachelor. So, and not to say that that degree also wasn't helpful if you have no background in data science or computer science or math, and if you haven't studied that in your bachelor, a master like that could probably be very useful for you. But for me, it just didn't give me anything extra. That's not to say that I don't want to do a master later as well, I just don't think it would be in data science. Maybe it will be a complementary subject or something more in the business side of things or more software engineering. I think the role of a data scientist is also evolving in that way, that you need kind of these extra fields around it to make you a more well-rounded data scientist, not just someone who experiments and does models, but someone who can put them in production or talk to business people about it. One of those tracks, I think, is going to be the future evolution of a data scientist. So studying the same thing at a different level, not necessarily it. But I think it's a personal choice, and I think that you should also think about it as well. Like, everyone should be critical of the choices they're making and what they're doing with their life. Is it for you because you find value out of it? Is it because you read an article that says having a master in data science is gonna get you employed? Because that's not always the case. So don't trust a magazine with your future. Like, look inward and figure out if you're getting what you want out of what you're doing, and know that quitting just means you can redistribute that time and energy into something that's more helpful and might bring you better opportunities, I think, and I hope. Let's not jinx that. that's my story of being a failure and of getting my dream job at the same time. Those things can go hand in hand sometimes. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this inspired you in any way. If you have any question or you want to see more videos like I mentioned today, or on any topics related to data science or working in tech, let me know. I'll be making more videos soon, and I'll try to keep it to a regular schedule as well. So let's see how that goes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.